Welcome into Eagles In-Game Live, presented by Nissan. Barrett, Brooks, Ashlyn, Sullivan here with you for our impressions of the first half of this second preseason game. A lot to go over. The first quarter, exciting. We have some storylines. Not getting as exciting as the game goes on, but we know that's the preseason, Barrett. But my biggest impression coming off just the starters as a whole was how many defensive starters we saw. We saw Devin White, Zach Bond. The biggest surprise to me was Bryce Huff in the game. Nolan Smith, you wanted to see some more for him, but Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter not playing, but really everyone else played, at least defensively.
Oh, absolutely. It was evident to me that they really want to see what's going on in that linebacker locker room.
Yeah.
And those guys, all of them impressed me. I think they really played well. The cornerback position, Rodgers was out there, surprised me a lot. And Quinyon Mitchell, he was out there also. So they're trying to get the gist of what's going on with their personnel packages, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. You had Avante out there. He had some guys out there. I think Slay probably was the only one that wasn't. Slay and Blankenship were all the guys that weren't out there, but everybody else was there, available, and playing. So there really are a lot of battles going on in the defensive side of the ball that they're really trying to work out. But I love the fact that Vic has let them play.
I do too. And I see the battles, right? I think that's basically half of the starters, but the other half to me just shows that Vic Fangio is being honest. We need to get these guys playing time, and we're not where we want to be quite yet. This is so new for everyone. So I applaud Vic Fangio for saying, no, these guys need to play. And now I'm wondering, are we going to see them week 3 at this point?
Well, a couple of guys will say, what's surprising to me, well, not really surprising, but, Bradbury needs to play the safety position to learn how to play the safety position.
Yeah.
I know he whiffed on that play, man, but he just has to understand this when you're not playing cornerback. He was able to make a play when it was one-on-one when you versus a tight end, or one-on-one versus, somebody, but he has to get the fit. And that's what I was telling people. It's easy to play safety if you know what to do, and he doesn't know what to do at this point.
No.
You got to know where the fit is. When I mean by the fit, you got to know where your alignment is and where you're supposed to be at when the ball comes out on running plays. Passing plays, I know it comes very easy to him, but running plays, you got to know where you fit. It took CJ probably half a season to learn when he came to the Eagles where his fit was as far as being a safety. But those are all things you have to learn. Then I'm looking on the outside, the cornerback position. Kaylee Ringo, a couple of times, he was in a bad position, but he's so fast, he can make it up. Rodgers also, but I saw them guys making some big plays. Avante made a big play, interception. There are so many games within the games we're watching. It just, it's exciting to see football, especially Philadelphia Eagles football out there.
Yeah, I'm encouraged by Avante Maddox. We were seeing him getting some reps here at safety and making a play like that, a guy that's been able to plug and play in multiple positions. And the storyline of who did not play is huge on the offensive line because Mekhi Becton did not even dress, which basically confirms to us he is going to be your starting right guard. Unfortunately, Tyler Steen getting injured as well. That's not great for the depth of this offensive line, but that basically solidifies Becton's your starter.
Yeah, he'll be the starting right guard going into the season. I'm very comfortable with that. I thought Tyler Steen would have a little more to offer as far as being a tough guy in the middle of that offense. He's just not ready to play on the inside, in the interior. It's a lot different to being out there at tackle. When you're inside, everything happens faster. I keep, giving to you with the analogy of being in a phone booth. There's not a lot of room to move around in a phone booth, and the same thing at guard position. You got to muscle up and stop the guy right then and there. And that's what Mekhi is able to do. He just needs to get stronger, get his core stronger, so he knows that right there is where the point of attack is. At tackle, you got a little bit of time once you get out there to set up and then fight. At guard position, you're fighting right then and there. He needs to learn how to fight at the point of attack.
He does. And truthfully, he has not looked fully healthy since coming back from that ankle injury that really gave Mekhi Becton the green light to earn the starting job. And I know I'm being dramatic because it's the preseason, but Barrett, I'm a little worried about the depth of this offensive line. We don't know what's going on with Tyler Steen now.
Don't be worried, because you need to be worried. You don't apologize for that.
I'm worried.
They're not where they need to be. The depth is very serious right now, and we don't have it. We just don't have it.
So what do you do? We got a regular season in 2 weeks.
I know, and then there lies the problem. That's why those guys really need to play. Now, the starting offensive line will be fine. Mekhi Becton will be fine. I keep telling everybody, Cam Jurgens is a natural center. He'll be great at the center position. But what I am worried about after that, Keegan's going to play because, he's a draft pick. But, this is the first time I'm really seeing Hennessy in some real reps, and they've got to almost put him in a position to be the backup guard and center going forward. McMahon, he'll be on the squad also, but still, at tackle position, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just not looking good. I mean, I don't know whether it's the timing of how this offensive line is playing together. I think they need to play more of that. So, and it's really giving a sense that he has to play these starters for a little bit also, so they can get accustomed to the speed of the game, knowing how to go out there and play, getting their blocking together. I mean, that right side is going to be new. So Lane and Makai need to go out there and do some double teams, full speed, just so they know the speed of the game. And I'm kind of worried about that, even with those guys being all pro, you still got to get the timing right. You still got to get that conscious effort of playing with a guy next to you. And at this point, I don't know how you can do it without full speed reps. They're going to go into this year not having that.
Yeah, and you're running out of options at this point for depth pieces. And that's what makes it, I think, pretty hard to judge Kenny Pickett in this game, because he is playing with this offensive line that's
he's running for his life.
Yeah, a little battered and bruised. I will say, though, we saw on the opening offensive drive, I thought he missed John Ross twice on that opening drive, which then makes it hard to judge John Ross at this point.
Yes.
But Kenny Pickett, I don't know what else you can see from him, because we're not getting an adequate reaction to this, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see McKee now in the second half.
Well, McKee probably will come in the second half, and he's going in with that second offensive line. And let's say this also. They're going against a lot of starters for this Patriots team, defensive linemen. So, it's hard to, for those guys to go out there and say, all right, then here I am, a number 3 playing against a number 1. But hey, this is your opportunity. This is your chance to show who you are and that you can play. When you're playing against their best, you got to do your best. And I don't think a lot of these guys need to be, can be starters on the team or playing on this team, because it just looks too porous out there. So, I mean, they got a lot of work on that offensive line. A lot of those guys need to put in some extra studying time, at Stoutland University, put in a little night course, or, do whatever they need to do, because it's not feasible for them to have a line like that. And it really did, everybody a disjustice, because you can't see the timing of passing routes. You can't see what the quarterback can do, because he's got heat on him as soon as his ball is snapped.
Big time. What it was encouraging is that we saw at least some big runs pop off with this offensive line. Will Shipley, a big run. So, Barrett, I don't know how much we'll see of Will Shipley in the second half at this point, but who's a guy you're paying attention to in the second half?
Nada. Well, I just want to see your guy McKee. I want to see him go out there and play, make some plays. And then, a guy like, Nada, see what he can do out there. I mean, he was a camp darling last year. Give him an opportunity to go out there and play. There are, a lot of guys that, really need to see, who's going to be the backup tight end, who's going to be out there at tight end, The storyline is, this is where these young guys get an opportunity to go out there and show who they are and if they belong on this team and in the NFL. You're not just playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. You are virtually going out there and auditioning for 31 other teams. And they got to have this in their mind. You got to be able to play. You got to be instantly in there and playing at a higher level. They're not playing at a high level right now. So we'll have to see from this point on who wants to be on the team, who doesn't, who's interviewing for 31 other team, who's not. This is what, the camp battles really are. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I like the plays that Moore was calling at the beginning of this game. Those were definitely a change up from what I'm used to seeing, but Moore called a pretty good game and a half, pretty good half this game.
Yes, he did. And still a ton of storylines in the second half. And that'll do it for Eagles In-Game Line presented by Nissan. Be sure to join myself and Barrett, Amy Fadul, and Ruben Frank on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus for post-game live. We will see you soon and enjoy the second half.